Hi, everyone. I'm Jane Applegath, and welcome to the Epic Vision Zone. Our goal with this show and company is to bring you trailblazing women from around the globe to share their ideas, knowledge, and inspiration to help you transform your dreams into epic success. Today's epic female entrepreneur is Meagan Gallman, otherwise known as the Sassy Southern Belle Stylist. She's a master colorist behind the chair, specializing in luxury custom hair color. She's also an educating artist for Joico and Olivia Garden, and an epic entrepreneur of her dream salon, the Magnolia Parlor. Meagan is also a mom to two beautiful daughters. The Southern Belle hit the ground running when, just after 6 months into opening the Magnolia Parlor, it was voted overall best hair salon in Mississippi for 2021. Her dream business includes 5 amazing stylists handpicked by Meagan for not only their talent, but their passion to be part of her working family. The team supports each other through an unspoken partnership designed to help one another succeed. Her philosophy, the salon is my home, my core is strong, and I'm here for you guys. One of her greatest aspirations is educating stylists to set them up for success. She offers stylists mentorship opportunities as assistants in her salon while she teaches formulating and business education. With her second passion being writing, Meagan is a contributing guest writer for multiple national and international beauty publications. Her favorite quote, "Be stubborn, be quick, persevere, but most of all, stay humble." Welcome, Meagan Gallman. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. So wonderful to have you here on the show. And we'll just get started here. You have a fantastic business, a terrific career and background. And I wanted to give our audience a little bit of insight into how growing up with a lot of responsibility influenced your journey to where you are today. Because I know we had a little talk about that, and that was very instrumental, I think.
Yes, yes, it was. Um, I grew up differently than most people in my childhood, and I actually had no idea how different it was until I was an older teenager. It
And
was,
what was so different?
well, so at the age of 14, I began paying bills. And
Wow.
we had a checking account that my mother had set up for each of us, my sister and myself. And anything that we wanted, I mean, we had to purchase ourselves. So it taught us responsibility to save for what we wanted that we didn't have the money for and to budget ourselves to get and prioritize what we needed, learn the difference between need and want. And it
Right.
benefited me, I believe, in the long run. I didn't realize until I was 17 or so that I was paying bills and no one else was. But I mean,
Yeah,
it
that
worked.
was, yeah, it sort of gave you the instilled the sense of responsibility that sort of carried through. And I think a lot of your ambition and drive had to do with that, because that's really a lot of responsibility at a very early age. And like you said, you didn't realize that most people weren't doing it.
Right. I didn't know any different, but like I said, in the long run, it was a very unorthodox way of parenting, but we learned the value of a dollar at an early age. So it
Yes,
was very
absolutely.
beneficial.
That was so insightful. And we talked a little bit about leader versus boss. You gave us me some thoughts on the difference between the two. Just explain that to us.
So when you're a boss, I feel like you don't have much interaction with your team other than telling them what they should or should not be doing or when and where to go, just giving them, instruction or commands basically. But a leader is one that invests in their team to help them grow and to help them succeed, to be, the greatest employee or the greatest, independent contractor, however, you may want to view that however you may have your business set up, but you want to invest in your team because if you take care of them, they will take care of you.
Yes, I think that's so vital, especially in an entrepreneurial business when you're building a team.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
And
And it also builds trust when you invest in them. They know that you care about them and
right.
just,
And
you're not just another employee.
exactly. Yes, that makes such a world of difference when you're putting your team together. And you have three key life principles that I think are very vital to the success of an entrepreneur. Share with our audience what those are.
Well, I mean, staying relevant for one, I mean, you definitely, in my industry, and I really and truly with any industry, you definitely want to keep up with the ever evolving ways that changes within your industry, whatever that may be. I know with my industry, things are constantly changing with styles and trends and techniques. There's the way that I like to teach my stylist is there's not really a wrong way to get there. It's just you have to figure out what way works best for you. But as long as you stay relevant in your industry, it will work out. Because if you don't keep up with what you're supposed to be doing in your industry to stay relevant, you become irrelevant and then you disappear.
Right, absolutely. And like you said, I think it's vital in every industry. It doesn't matter. I mean, part of that is being a life learner as well. You
Yes, for
know,
sure. That is incredibly accurate.
staying up on top of education and different in your case techniques and so on and so forth. And you mentioned too to realize your value. I think that's something
Yes.
that we really, as women particularly, need to learn that we have. Like you just share with the audience just before we got on here. You were sharing with me with your team.
Yes, so I cater to new stylists or that is my passion is to cater to new stylists. And what I've noticed over the years, because I was that hairstylist, is I did not realize my value in the beginning of my career and it actually set me back. Um, with new
Mm.
stylists, they are not trained to know their value from the beginning. And honestly, unfortunately, people know a new stylist and they will take advantage of that. And they will make you feel like they are doing you a favor by sitting in your chair. And as much as that is important that they came to you and they came to you for a reason, you know, sometimes they don't appreciate your value. When they don't appreciate your value to me, they don't deserve to sit in your chair.
Oh, I love that attitude. I think that's great.
Well, I've told my stylist from the very beginning, I'm very, very protective of them, extremely protective of them. I will
You're the
not let
mama bear.
someone, absolutely, I will not let someone come into my salon and mistreat my team. It's a respect, that I feel like is very needed. And that's another thing with the leadership. I'm very protective over them and their well-being and their mindset. And I have I have left the salon and I have received a phone call before where one of my stylists was being mistreated by one of our guests, and I came back to the salon to handle the situation and or take
Mhm.
care of it. And
That's wonderful.
I'm very protective over them, very, very, very protective over them. And I've explained to them, don't let anyone mistreat you or don't let anyone treat you or undervalue you. Goes back to that, because I said, if you're concerned about whether or not they're going to be in your chair and you feel like you're at their mercy, that's not the case. And I know that it's an age old saying where they say the customer is not always right. That's not always true. You have to have respect for the person that you're speaking to. And
Right. It's a two-way street.
it is,
Yeah.
it absolutely is. I feel like I don't know. I don't mean to come across as rude, but like I said, whenever I'm protecting my business and I'm protecting my stylist, I will respect you. I will value your time, but please respect me and value mine.
Yes, that's something that's key, and it's also owning not only your leadership, but you're showing your girls, your staff, how to own their leadership. So you're actually instilling a very good trait, especially for an entrepreneur, how to step up and really own their leadership, because that is something that a lot of us actually don't do for ourselves. And
Hmm.
particularly as women. So I just love that. I love the story because I feel that anybody who's lucky enough to work for you is going to learn a lot for sure. So, what are some of them?
Well,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just saying, I was that stylist before that,
Yeah.
let people take advantage of me and my time. And it took a long time to get out of that. And, I modeled my salon after everything that I wish that I had knew or had access to as a young stylist, and to, learn the business and learn the value. So I try to
Yeah.
offer
So
that to them.
you're passing on your experience and teaching them at the same time, which is so incredibly valuable. I mean, like you said, it's the difference between a leader and a boss, and that is something that's key for all entrepreneurs. So I'm going to ask you, what were some of the most challenging hurdles that you had to deal with over your time growing into who you are today? I read that you had a nightmare experience of public speaking.
Oh, I did not like public speaking whenever I was growing up. And, in school, well, I know in Mississippi, in school, you can't graduate high school without a public speaking class being taken and passed. And it was incredibly, oh, I can't even express to you the nerves it gave me and the anxiety it gave to me. But I learned very quickly that, you know, it's not as difficult in public speaking if you are passionate about the subject that you are on. Because, when you're taking your classes, you are given these assignments, and you have to kind of research. And if you aren't passionate about it, and you're not really prepared. But if it's something that you are passionate about, then it makes it a lot easier. And also, I learned that, speaking into a crowd and teaching, they come to see you, and they come to learn the information that you are given. So you become very responsible for them. And I guess in my case, me being so protective over my stylist, whenever I'm in a class and I'm teaching the other stylists, I'm protective over them and their knowledge that they are learning. So it's my responsibility to make sure that I give them the very best knowledge that I can. And knowing that, it helped me overcome my fear of public speaking.
Yeah, that's. I was actually that was my segue into how did you overcome it? But you just said to us, if you're passionate about the topic and you really want to share it with others, you overcome that fear,
Yes.
and you find your
Yes, you do.
voice. And yeah, and practice. Practice and practice and keep going and just dealing with the nerves as best as you can, for sure. Yeah. You have a celebrate your wins. Now, as entrepreneurs and as business people, we often forget to celebrate our wins. We're so busy working and keeping the lights on and thinking of profits. So tell us what some of your proudest achievements are so far.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it has been it has been a crazy year, but I will
Yes, it
definitely
has.
say that, yes, I will definitely say that my salon is and opening my salon and navigating through the pandemic is probably my most proud achievement, mainly because I was terrified of how the outcome would be. And I try to sell it, and it's not just that. That is my most proud moment, is being able to open up the salon. But on the inside of the salon is whenever I have my stylist and they're learning and they're getting comfortable and they're transforming themselves from a scared stylist to a confident stylist. I'm very proud of that also. I'm very proud of my team whenever they learn a new technique, whenever they decide to own that technique and that they can create it. I see them grow. I'm very proud of that. I'm very I'm very careful to make sure that I celebrate my stylist, no matter how big or how small that win might be. But as far as, my greatest achievement with my salon, I had, let me just back up. I created a career bucket list.
Oh,
And in the
great.
last couple of, yes, it's I'm a list maker. I write down
That's
lists of
fabulous.
everything.
I love it.
I'm the girl. I have binders everywhere.
Oh, wow.
With
Okay. I'm a
I
note
do.
taker, so I'm with you.
I I am a note taker. I'm a list maker. So whenever working on my business, I make sure to have a career bucket list. And it goes from a career bucket list as things that I want to achieve throughout my entire career. And then I break that up into smaller bucket lists on what I would like to achieve within 10 years or 5 years this month, whatever that may be. Because I've found that, when you when you have all of these things that you want to do and it feels like it may never happen, it's kind of like if you break them up into small pieces and you can work on those and achieve those, that to me is your small wins leading up to your
Right.
bigger wins, to celebrate those. And on that list, I can remember I wanted to educate. That was on my bucket list, and I, made that happen. And I also wanted to open a salon, which was actually amusing because whenever I wrote that, that was the first time that I ever really decided that I wanted to open a salon. I never wanted to be a salon owner. But whenever I wrote that down, I said, well, now I have to do it. And then
That's
I wanted to be
fantastic.
published. I wanted to be published, and that happened also, and that was a lot of hard work. But, I made that happen. Blood, sweat, tears, and profanity, however you want to put that, to make all these things happen.
That is such a great idea. Career bucket list. Everybody should get their pen and paper out and write that down. And you're right. You want to put it in bite sizes because
Mm.
if you just have the end goal on there, you will probably get overwhelmed,
Oh,
and then,
absolutely.
yeah,
You,
and then you
you'll be
might beat yourself up.
overwhelmed,
Hmm.
discouraged. I see that a lot, and I have had that feeling a lot. In fact, when I was in the process of remodeling this building to open my salon, I got discouraged many times. And I had
Mm.
to kind of take a mental reset and remember, just take it one day at a time. It'll come together, and it did.
It'll come. And in fact, that is the perfect answer for the next question because actually it's about mindset philosophy. Because you say that I love what you told me earlier. You say there are two types of people in the world. There are those that dwell on the past or they grow from it. Explain that
Yes.
mindset philosophy and how it can serve entrepreneurs because mindset is so important.
Mindset is extremely important. So that was something that I taught myself at a very young age. I remember going to work. I was working at a steakhouse, and that it was one particular evening. A friend came in, and she was extremely excited about a blouse that she had bought, and she spent $130 on this blouse. And I almost dropped the trays that I was holding because I was thinking to myself, I was like, That's a bill. That's a utility bill. Like, how are you going to pay that? And I don't pay that. What? You don't pay for your car? No. You don't pay car insurance? No. So it was right then whenever I realized that I was different. I grew up different, and I guess I held some resentment for that for a little while. And then I decided, you know, I can either dwell on that and be angry that I grew up more independent than other people my age, or I can grow from that and decide to be a responsible young adult. And it was a mindset thing. I had to make that choice myself, and I had to just really take a breather and, like I said, reset my mindset on what I was going to do next. And I wanted to thrive, and that was my decision to make.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you changed it around. In other words, you didn't dwell on the past, but you decided that you were going to grow from it.
Yes, if you dwell on the past, you'll never grow. You will stay in the same negative mindset as long as you allow yourself to, and it will hold you back. It will
Hmm.
it will cause you to delay yourself in amazing opportunities that you may be missing out because you're too busy holding resentment that you won't be able to see what's in front of you. And
Right.
it's a very
Yeah.
important decision to make. You can either,
Ab-
if you dwell, you don't grow.
yes, absolutely. We need to move on from the memories of the past and go forward into the excitement of the future, for sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was, like I had said, I was, for a short time, I was angry and held resentment because I feel like I did not get to be a teenager, or I did not get to have that fun. But I really appreciate that now. I
Yeah.
really do. I
Hindsight.
don't hold any, yes, I do. I appreciate it. And honestly, it's a different way of parenting, but I would not change a thing.
That's fantastic. Yes, because it was a very different upbringing for sure. So
Yes,
getting
yes,
on
it
to,
was.
yeah, for sure. Talking a little bit about the business end of your enterprise, because you are brick and mortar, being that it is a salon. So how do you stay relevant in a digital world, or how do you stand out and prosper? Because I know that you do, do some things digitally. Maybe you could share that with us.
Yes. So everyone, especially in my industry, is so used to live events, person to person education, person to person contact, and whenever the pandemic hit, you had to pivot and everything became digital. It was not going away, and it's not going to. So, it was sink or swim, I guess you could say. So despite not being able to learn in person or have the education in front of you, that there are, I know in our industry, and I assume others as well, different ways to learn online, different classes to take. Because I know with us and the companies that I work for, we have really, really, you know, honed in on the digital world at this point, because it is a new way of learning, or the new normal way of learning, I guess. So there's classes to take, there's Zoom classes where you can still interact, it's on a screen with another person, but you still have that interaction. So there are ways to still make it more personable and still learn, but you just have to figure out what digital way is best for you. If you can take live classes to where you can ask your questions or interact with the instructor or interact with the person on the other side, or there's also pre-recorded classes, that you can stop and you can pause and you can take your notes and you can go back or go forward, however you choose to do that. It's a new world, but it's the way it is now.
Yeah, and I guess because you do a lot with educating as well, That's
Hmm.
a really terrific way to stay relevant with a
Yes.
platform that you have, because it's not just that you're a salon owner, and on the other side with your team, it's a fabulous opportunity for them to start honing their skills, learning some new techniques, while you're waiting for, the green light, I guess it is, because it's all different for clients to come back into the salon, but use it as an opportunity as opposed to,
Yes.
and digital will always be there. So I think that will continue to be something even in your business with the salon for education and learning. I know hands-on is paramount, because you really want to learn techniques hands-on, but digital is the second best thing. And I read,
Absolutely.
yeah, I read that you really walked into that and took great advantage of it. So it was perfect, perfect. So,
Well,
what? Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, that going back to there's different types of ways that you can use your digital platform. I know that, there's been times that I have not used Zoom, or I've had, hairstylists that I know that live in another city or another state, and they may have an issue with something, or they want to try to figure out where they're going wrong. So they may take a mannequin and try to figure it out or talk to me about it, and we'll FaceTime, and they will show me this problem, with the FaceTime, and I can actually explain to them, okay, well, so try it this way, or how do you feel about trying it this way, or how do you feel about this, or perhaps you should go in a different direction for this way. Use it. It's not just Zoom. You can still use FaceTime to do that also. And that to me is a little bit more personable
Right.
as you can
Yeah.
get, I
So,
guess. Personable as you can get.
as it for right. Well, soon we'll be holograms, so we'll really be able to get the 3D the 3D effect. But in the meantime, yeah, use all your digital platforms. That's a great piece of advice. We all get stuck on the Zoom because that's what seems to be the thing of the times right now. But oh my gosh, and
Yeah.
FaceTime's been there forever. So that's a
Mhm.
great suggestion. I love it. You have a little philosophy about mistakes and lessons, and it kind of follows into that what we were saying about, either you can dwell in the past or you can move forward with it. But share with our audience, your take on mistakes and or lessons, and it's really up to the individual to decide what they want to interpret.
Yes. So I do not believe in mistakes. To me, there is no such thing as a mistake. There is lessons or discoveries to me. I don't believe in mistakes. And whenever I hear my stylist say, well, I made a mistake, no, you didn't. You just discovered how not to do that. So, I choose to look at that as a lesson or a discovery, a way that you can figure out how to, you know, overcome the issue that you may be having. I would not go about this color this way. So I've discovered that maybe I want to go in this direction. It goes back to be able to dissect the issue and figure out what you can do next, or how you can prevent doing what you did before that you may not have been proud of. So I don't believe in mistakes. I don't teach mistakes to my stylists. I teach them to train themselves to learn how to go about a different path.
I love that. I read that and I was like, yes, because you're like, I don't believe in mistakes. In fact, the word doesn't exist in your vocabulary. It's
No, not
like
at
that.
all. I do not believe in mistakes. And it also, like you said, is up to the individual to choose how to do that, or dwelling on the past or dwelling on the mistake that you made.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it's
We could
how
all
it's
learn from
mindset.
that. Yeah, we could all learn from that because, when we're small, when we do something wrong, no, that's a mistake, and school is the same way. But boy, if you're brought up or you're around someone like yourself who teaches the individual that no, there's no such thing as a mistake. It's just that's not the way to do it. Oh my gosh, your whole mindset and your attitude is completely changed. Completely. Yeah.
Well, I've, you know, whenever I've had stylists, whether it be in class or stylists in my salon, I can't tell you how many times I've had a stylist tell me, they may raise their hand in class or they'll get my attention and they'll say, I have a stupid question. No,
No.
you don't.
Oh,
There's
okay.
no such thing. There's no such thing as a stupid question. No, you have a question. Hopefully, I have the answer.
I love that. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Because, they might think it's stupid, but you're teaching them right
Yeah,
then and there. No, it's a question. It's not if you preface it stupid, then, well, I'm not going to give you a stupid answer. So it's not a stupid question.
yeah.
Wow.
Exactly. No
I love it.
question to me is, irrelevant or dumb or however they may choose to state it initially as a negative question, and I don't teach that.
Yeah. You don't accept it. And I love it. I love that. So as an
Mhm.
entrepreneur, tell us what the most challenging thing is of being an entrepreneur.
Ooh, there's a few things. I
Okay.
myself personally, I feel like I have a habit of not being able to turn off my business brain. I always have work with me everywhere I go because to me it's the way that my mind works. Even whenever I'm at home, I'm thinking about, how I can level up my business next, how I can, make the experience for my guests better in the salon, how I can add details to my salon so they can have an experience that they can't get anywhere else or not anywhere else in the within so many miles of where my salon is located. I think of new ways to teach my stylist, whether it might be something business related or whether it may be a new technique. I'm constantly in entrepreneur mode, I guess you could say. It never leaves.
In business mode, yes, I could see that, but I could also see that it's your passion. So,
hmm
but still, you have your daughters, so I'm sure that's a great way to take your mind off it a little bit. Uh,
It is, and they are funny little individuals. They definitely can take my mind off of it for a little while, but it's actually my youngest daughter, she's all about hair as well. So she has little things that she will tell me and I'm like, "You're 7 years old, but you have a really good idea. I'm going to use that."
wow, that's fantastic. So there you go. But she's picking up your passion.
hmm
That's really great. Well, entrepreneurial success in your experience, what is the key to success? You did mention that it's not about being content.
Yes, you never
There.
want to get comfortable.
Hmm.
I've always said, getting comfortable is an extremely dangerous place to be, especially in our industry, because if you get comfortable, then I feel like it's the beginning of losing your passion. And if you enter that mindset of losing your passion, then you are well on your way to becoming irrelevant in the industry. So I realized, I guess, my youngest daughter, she is 7. I guess probably a couple of years after she was born, I started realizing that I was comfortable because it didn't occur to me that I had not taken a class and since before I was pregnant with her. And that scared me. It scared me a lot actually because I know how much I love my business and I know how much I love my career. And I could not believe that I let myself get comfortable and content. So I decided that I was going to change that. I am not a New Year's resolution type of person because I cannot keep them. I'm the worst. So instead of creating New Year's resolutions, I decided that at the beginning of the year in January that I would try to take as many classes as possible to see, what all I could learn, or, whether or not it has certifications. And it was almost like a game against myself about how many classes I could take, how much education can my brain hold. And I became very excited again.
That's great. Yeah, because you did say perseverance and strategic business savvy, and you learned
Yeah.
so much. Like that goes right back to what you said earlier on staying relevant, but also learning, continuing to learn because there's always new things coming up. And
Yes,
we want to
yes.
keep our hand on the pulse of not only business, but in your case, especially because it's technique, it's fashion, it's ever changing, and
Yes,
today
it's
who knows
trends.
what's. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's really, I love that because you say we grow when we persevere, and you also said it makes a difference to make a difference in other people's lives. And
It
I love
does.
that because when you have that in your heart as an entrepreneur, and for what you do, you can really change people's lives.
I try. I definitely try, with my stylist and other stylists actually. It's very important to me. Very
Yeah, I
important.
can I can tell that. I can tell. Would you recommend entrepreneurship to your daughters?
Yes, I would. Actually, I would. Because it takes a certain type of person to be able to be an entrepreneur. And if I can raise my children to be passionate about something, and I can raise them, whatever that may be, I can raise them that, you can be successful, you can have your own business, if you take, take the classes, learn things, learn how to do it. It's a lot of hard work, and it takes a lot of your time, but it is so rewarding to me. I
Yes.
mean, I would
Rewarding.
absolutely, because to be able to build a business and have it be successful and have a successful team and have a team that you care about and a team that cares about you, that that's special.
Yes. Yes, it's
And
special
and
because
that,
yeah, I was just going to say it's like a family. It's a second family.
yeah. And not entrepreneurship is not for everyone. I will say that, but I will say this. I started taking business courses and salon business courses probably about 3 to 4 years ago. I began taking it because you do not wake up one morning and say, I want to be a business owner today. It does not work that way. You have to prepare yourself, and you have to prepare your mindset, and you have to be prepared for the shortcomings, and you have to be prepared for discoveries or lessons that will arise, because they will. So you have to get your mindset right before you decide to be an entrepreneur or have a business. You don't wake up and just decide to do it.
Right. And build your confidence and your leadership. So I love that. That's a great piece of information for everyone who's either considering becoming an entrepreneur or already is one and looking to expand their business, because it is a lot of work, but it's so rewarding, especially when
It
you're able
is.
to, I like to say, prosper doing work you love. I mean,
Yes.
what better life is there? you know,
Oh, I know.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I just wanted, because this is the Epic Vision Zone, I have one question here I'm going to throw to you and see what you come up with. If your life were an epic story, what would the title be?
Ooh. Oh, you did throw me, didn't you?
I did.
What would my title be? Hmm. Hmm. You really did throw me. I don't know. I have so many ideas and so many things that come to mind. Not just a hairdresser.
Okay. I love it. Not just a
Not
hairdresser.
just a hairdresser.
I
I
love it.
cannot tell you how many times I had heard, "You're just a hairdresser," over my
Oh,
career. I don't hear it too much anymore, but I will tell you that those are fighting words.
yes. I love
They
it. No,
are.
they're fight. Yeah, because it's not the just. Oh my gosh. I mean, there's so just people don't realize, especially if you're not in a business environment, in a corporate
Hmm.
office or a lawyer or in finance, or it's a creative career. At least that's the way I see it. It's a creative career.
Yes, it
And
is.
go ahead.
It is. I was just saying it is a creative career. Just as you were saying, and going back to me telling you that my brain is always in business mode. I have an office in my salon, and then I have an office in my home, and I've always wondered how many other hairdressers take home their work the way that I do. Because honestly, I don't have a life outside the salon, not really. And I'm okay with that. I mean,
Yeah.
whenever when I'm not in my salon, I'm with my family. So that's, I'm okay with that and I'm happy with it.
I can tell it's your passion. I just love that about you. I mean, you are a big success already. And Megan has got another article coming out is it Entrepreneurial Magazine? Is it? You're going to be on the cover, I
Woman,
think.
yes, Woman's Entrepreneur. It was pushed back because of, the pandemic, but
Hmm.
yes, I'm going to be on the cover, and that to me, that's a big win.
That
I
is
wake up and I
fabulous.
really, thank you. I just want to pinch myself sometimes because I still can't believe that I get to have the life that I do. I am a Southern girl and I live in a small town, but I love I love what I do, and I am very, like I said, I wake up every single day just in disbelief that I have this life, and sometimes I feel very undeserving of it because it's amazing.
Well, you've worked really hard and you're making a lot of noise, Megan, and I love it. Oh my gosh, I just I tell you, if she was down the street, I'd be over there right now booking my hair appointment because, as you could see,
Thank you.
probably definitely, maybe one of these days I'll fly over there. It's like you said, it's not unusual. You've had some clients do that before, so I hope I'm
We
on
do.
that list one day.
We do have clients that fly in, and that's amusing because whenever people find out where they're flying to, and they're like, "That's such a small area," and I'm like, "Yeah,
Right?
but we're
Yes.
big city vibes in a small town, so
I love
there
it.
you
Big
go."
city vibes in a small town. There's another title for you. Love it. Love it. Well, Megan, I'm so appreciative of your time and for coming on the show. And encourage everyone to go to Megan's bio page on the Summit directory, where you'll find links to all of her information and articles. And be sure to connect with her on Instagram as well. And thank you once again, Megan, for joining us here on the Epic Vision Zone at the Female Entrepreneur Revolution, which you are certainly stepping into full force. I love it. And be sure to follow me on Instagram at Jane Applegath and check out how you can become an epic entrepreneur at janeapplegath.com. This is the Epic Vision Zone, transforming your dream into epic success. Congratulations for signing up for the Female Entrepreneur Revolution. We're bringing you some of the most exciting female entrepreneurs from around the globe to share with you their knowledge, their ideas, their inspiration, and more importantly, their resources to elevate you to prosperity and freedom. And by being here, you're on the cusp of something great, your epic future. I'm Jane Applegath, founder of the Epic Vision Zone and producer of the Female Entrepreneur Revolution. Be sure to get your VIP pass and join me after the summit on June 16th for a very special VIP coaching session where we'll have hot seating, summit Q&A, and a special guest appearance by one of our speakers just for you, where we'll ignite your vision, up-level your confidence, and set you on the path to your dreams' epic success. This is your opportunity calling. It's time to take action. Get your VIP pass now. I can't wait to see you on the other side.